I came across a news story that really troubled me, and it needs to be talked about. A young woman was sick in the hospital here in Ontario for 6 months. She was sick with a liver disease that was caused by excessive consumption of alcohol. She needed a liver transplant in order to survive, but she was denied one because she failed to abstain from alcohol. She was 36 years old, and that sent shivers up my spine because I am 36 and am someone who has also struggled with alcohol use. When my alcohol use was at its worst, I was consuming about 50 to 60 drinks per week. To put that into perspective, what is one drink? It is 12 ounces of beer, or 5 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounces of a spirit. I drank every day. Usually I'd start with 3 to 4 beer until my tummy was feeling too full, and then I would switch to whiskey or some other spirit. And that's where things really start to pile up, because 1.5 ounces is not a lot at all. 4 or 5 whiskeys later, I'm pushing 7, 8, 9 drinks a night, and doing this every day. That was normal for me. I didn't understand why I drank like this. I have a lot of journaling and poetry I wrote during this time where the repeated message is, I only feel like myself when I'm drinking. So obviously I kept doing it. It was an addiction. If you're interested in hearing one of my poems, I'm going to read one at the end of this video. Looking back at that time, I now understand what was going on. The complex PTSD is putting me in fight or flight all the time. Now that I can feel when it switches on and off, I understand that when it's off, that is when I feel most like myself. That's when I can breathe. But before I developed this new ability to connect with my mind and my body, the only way I knew how to turn down the fight or flight was with alcohol. That's what a coping mechanism is. We all have them, and we all know how unhealthy they can sometimes get. Alcohol dampens the fight or flight signals coming from your mind and your body, but it doesn't erase them. It's just like turning down a volume knob. But it makes complete sense to me now when I look at my writing and I look at the pain that I was in and the confusion as to why I felt more like myself when I was drunk. I was thinking, what the hell is wrong with me? You get this feeling of being truly broken. I thought, how f***ed up is it that I only feel like myself when I'm wasted? And it scared me, and I hated it. But that was my life, and I wanted to feel more like myself, so I kept doing it. Now, I don't know much about this lady who died. I don't know if she had PTSD or other struggles, but my belief is that anyone who drinks excessively is in some kind of pain, whether they know it or not. There's some sort of mental issue. And people can say, oh, you chose to do this, therefore you aren't entitled to life-saving care. You chose to drink. I really struggle with this idea of choice. And I get what these people are saying, but there are 2 things about our society and culture that make me question this sort of logic. First, we don't know how to fix mental illness yet. We just don't. If we did, I wouldn't be sitting here making these videos. Modern medicine has some basic notions of what you should be doing, but it doesn't work for everyone. There is no formula. There is no cure-all solution. And a lot of people are left struggling. Some people don't seek help because they genuinely don't realize that something is wrong. That's very possible if you don't know any other way of living. A lot of the things I thought were completely normal about myself and experienced by everyone, I have found out are actually symptoms of PTSD, and most certainly not experienced by everyone. So how can we say that those people are less deserving of a new liver if they don't even know that they're ill? And then what about the people who do seek out medical help, only to find that what's covered by our healthcare system is actually quite minimal and heavily reliant on medications, which often make things a million times worse? they did for me. In our country, if you want anything better than that, you have to be willing to pay. Not everyone can afford that. Even then, it's not a guarantee that it's going to fix you. I've been to, I think, approaching a dozen different therapists now, and I would say 90% of them are terrible, absolutely terrible, and have said awful things to me. So when you have someone who is suffering, they don't know how to fix their suffering, the system is failing them, and they turn to alcohol to self-medicate, is that really a choice? I don't know the answer to this. I think this is kind of a philosophical question. I certainly lean more towards the fact that it's not a choice, but that's because of my personal experience and the fact that I know what it feels like to be reliant on alcohol. But I also understand how people who've never been in that position before can certainly view it as a choice. To those people, I would say, if you could choose between pain and less pain, wouldn't you choose less pain? Again, I don't know this woman or what she was going through. I do think it's possible to drink casually and not have any sort of mental illness, but I think the kind of drinking that's required in order to get you to liver disease, it's pretty likely that there's something deeper going on. Her obituary says she loved hiking, music, food, fashion, that she was a private person, kept her struggles to herself. Some of the comments made mention of things being heavy for her, of darkness, and the hope that she's at peace now. So I don't know, make of that what you will. If mental illness is involved, I do think this notion of choice blurs. You could say that I chose to drink 50 drinks a week, and I wouldn't fault you for thinking that. But here's the thing. You probably get to feel like yourself without alcohol. And to be clear, I say you as in the people out there who don't understand the power of a coping mechanism in a world where the public healthcare system is failing us and the only other care is $160 an hour and might not even work. All I wanted was to be free of the mental torture, to silence what is inside here, to just get some relief. If someone goes through surgery and takes morphine for pain relief, do you fault them for taking morphine? Do you deny them future health care because at one point in their life they took morphine? There is no morphine for mental illness. That's the whole reason why people develop coping mechanisms. They are looking for something to numb the pain. Alcohol would silence things for me, turn that volume knob down until I would get glimpses of who I used to be, who I wish that I still was, and who I miss. And the second main reason I struggle with this concept of the choice to drink alcohol is related to the role that alcohol plays in our culture right now. Our culture absolutely revolves around alcohol. Honestly, what percentage of your last 10 hangs with friends was alcohol involved? I bet it's 100%. You go out to dinner, drinks. You go out to a movie, drinks. You go to someone's house. You better believe there's going to be drinks. Then there's even the hangout where you just go for drinks. It's gotten to a point where it feels awkward to be sober with your friends. Like we don't know how to interact without alcohol. You got to have at least one drink to, grease the social wheels. A lot of people feel this way, and it is so messed up. Why can't we just be sober together again? Go to mini golf or play tennis or go sledding. I don't know. We used to bring alcohol for that too and call it taboozing. It's seriously not good. I've actually heard people say that they won't date someone if they don't drink alcohol. Like that's their only criteria. And this tendency for alcohol to work its way into every social gathering makes it very difficult to abstain from drinking. And when you combine that with mental illness, I just don't see how you can call it a choice. And then to deny someone a life-saving transplant because of that choice, it's disgusting. The article even said her partner offered to donate some of his liver, and they wouldn't let him, even though he was a match. You tell someone to stop drinking, but you don't tell them how to do that. Is it fair to expect that they'll be able to stop drinking. Whatever your view is on this issue, mine is that it's heartbreaking. We don't know why this woman drank. Even if she said, I did it to feel good, she still could have been self-medicating a mental illness that was unknown to her. And according to the articles, in our country, the court cannot order hospitals to perform an operation that was declined based on alcoholism discrimination. So this was a choice made by medical professionals. The people who should understand better than anyone what mental illness can do to a person. You know what this is? This is people being assigned different levels of worth based on their struggle with addiction. An addiction that's growing, by the way. And what has our government done to help this problem? Well, as of September 5th, they licensed over 4,000 convenience stores to now sell alcohol. Amazing. What we need is to stigmatize the drinking, not the addiction. Stigmatize using alcohol at every social gathering. And don't just stigmatize it. We also need to show people how to break free from their addictions. And there has to be an option for people who aren't religious, because I just found out recently that AA is a religious organization, which I did not know. So I don't know what non-religious people are supposed to do. Where's the AA for non-religious people? Right now I'm working on a video about my journey to stop drinking and what eventually worked for me. And my hope is that this information can help people and hopefully save lives. As far as I'm concerned, our government doesn't care about helping people. They want to sell more alcohol, make more money, so that they can pay for their subways that they want to build in Toronto. I don't know. I don't know what they want the money for. These actions that they have taken indicate to me that they do not have people's best interest at heart. We have to help ourselves and we have to help each other, because this system is disgusting and murderous. No human should have the power to determine the worth of another human being. Okay, here's my poem as promised. It's called, How Do You Feel? This is really embarrassing. They say when you drink, you numb it all. Every emotion, bad and the good. Not mine. When I sip, relief fills my body. Warmth, comfort, enjoyment. I laugh easier. I cry harder. Emotion is high, but feelings are beautiful. When I am empty, I want to escape. I still don't understand what I am escaping. When I drink, I don't want to escape. Life becomes lovely again. But worse than that, I feel like myself again. There is a short window to who I was back when I loved life, or at least had no thoughts of ending it. Back when I was excited, when spare time was a gift, not a burden, not a dread. I didn't even realize how full of life I once was, but even still, I feel more real than I ever have. My eyes are open, I know more truths, I feel more human, and I want it to end. When I drink, I enjoy life again. Have I said that already? It makes me sad to realize that's supposed to be bad. Without it, all I want is to sleep. But with it, I feel, I create, I don't hide, I embrace, I feel alive. I feel okay with being alive. But I know that's bad. They tell me it's bad, because I remember when I felt this without it. Why are we punished for it, for needing it? Why are we told we need help, that we are unstable? Why don't you need it? Don't you understand? Haven't you seen the truth? What do you use to feel alive? Tell me why it's better than mine. And I'll tell you why you could use a drink. That's pretty good. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I'll see you next time. Bye.